Hey everyone, good evening. We are in an active weather pattern across Central Oregon. I'm Darrell Winninger, meteorologist at Central Oregon Daily News, and we are about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Look at what's been happening through the day, how these conditions are change up from what we've seen the last couple of days, and what's changing as we go into the middle of this week. Why we're looking at this shift in our weather pattern and what those impacts are going to be for us right here on the high desert. All that and more happening in the next several minutes. So let's get right into it, starting off with a look across the high desert. Cameras across Central Oregon from Hoodoo and Basher all the way down through Prineville Reservoir and Pine Mountain show a lot of cloud cover, and you can see several of the cameras that we have across Central Oregon that have a little bit of sprinkles on the lens of the camera, so a little bit of moisture out there. And we've been getting these off and on showers working their way through the high desert. Most of it, though, has been liquid. It's been rain. We haven't seen too much in the way of snow until we get to the highest elevation. So just a quick look at your winter storm impact graphic. Limited winter impacts in our lower elevations. It's really not until we get higher than 5,300 feet, so above the pass levels, that we're really starting to see those impacts across Central Oregon during the next several days. So that's good news, bad news. Bad news, we need the mountain snow. Good news, we're not looking at seeing too many spots that are really impacted by any weather that's rolling through. Just some much needed rain rolling across the high desert. Now, winds have been very gusty, and that'll be coming up in a little bit as well. So currently, just looking at roads, we have damp roads. Even in the highest elevations, we mostly just have wet roads. There's been a little bit of melting and compaction off the side of the road at each one of the passes, but by tonight, as temperatures through the passes fall back below freezing, a refreeze is definitely expected. Speaking of the passes and our snow resorts, here's a look at that snow report as of 5 p.m. today. So here in the next couple of minutes, actually I got these numbers just a couple minutes ago, pardon me, but we've gotten between 1 and 9 inches of new snow through the Cascades, and we are not quite done just yet. A little bit more mountain snow is expected, but look at these numbers: 28 inches at Hoodoo, 43 inches at Bachelor, and yes, 69 inches at Timberline. Now, when it comes to tonight, we are looking at maybe getting 1 to 2 inches around Bachelor, and even more in the Three Sisters Wilderness. But just looking at the powder prognosis, it does show that by tomorrow we have that transition from snow showers in the highest elevations to a wintry mix, and that transition starts early. Temperatures are still going to be much warmer than they need to be for any snow accumulation, even in the highest elevation. So most of what we're getting is rain because another warm front is pushing through tonight. Now, widespread off and on showers are expected to start today at 7 a.m. through the midday hours. By the afternoon, periods of clearing, still more moisture, some showers. Now, I'm not too confident in the potential for any lightning, but where we have some of these showers rolling through at about 5 p.m. looks like a little bit of red could be possible. There could be a chance, but it's just not going to be widespread lightning. In fact, we don't have much at all in the way of any weather alerts across Central Oregon, just a wind advisory to our south. We're talking Klamath, Lake counties. Now, satellite and radar shows that there are some showers, but a lot of that fizzling up, the mountains absorbing a lot of that moisture, but many showers are actually rolling into the high desert, and this is part of our warm front that's impacting us. Now, this warm front stays on course to push right through Central Oregon, and what that means for us is that we are expecting the snow levels to really begin to pick up. Now, going forward, we do have a few more changes that are expected. So I just wanted to log in and check something out over here. But what we're actually looking at is this warm front pushing through. You can actually see that low pressure. When we look at the isobars that are offshore, you can see where that low is. And this southerly moisture coming in is just bringing in a lot of this precipitation. Now, there's a ridge of high pressure over the southwestern U.S. and Four Corners region. But right here through the Intermountain West, this is where we're just getting this off and on showers activity. And we have two different lows that are offshore, plus this plume of moisture coming right into Central Oregon. And when we back the camera out, this does look like it is maybe even a Pineapple Express, but definitely we're looking at an atmospheric river that just is bringing these wave after wave of moisture through, just not much at all in the way of snow. Most of it has been and is going to be rain, liquid precipitation until you get to the highest elevations, but that is something we're continuing to track. Even the water vapor imagery shows a bunch of moisture over Central Oregon. So here's your forecast model. It shows these off and on showers continue into tonight, comes a little more widespread through the AM hours with a little bit of snow through this Three Sisters wilderness. It looks like the Newberry Caldera and then out over the Badlands. But for the most part, we're just mostly getting this off and on rain until tomorrow's cold front rolls through. By Tuesday night, going into Wednesday during the early morning hours, some snow showers are expected before clearing. Once we get to that clearing, this high resolution forecast model shows that we're going to be under a ridge of high pressure. Now, the fog chances pick up considerably between Roseburg and Portland on the I-5 corridor, but for us in Central Oregon, not so much yet. And meanwhile, we have moderate to high relative humidity values, and that's because of the rain that is rolling through. And temperatures are, look at this, sitting in the 50s and 40s for highs. That is a look at highs in the last 24 hours. Currently, we're still in the 50s with some 40s. It's 43 degrees in Sisters Madras and Warm Springs. It's 45 in Lapine and Sun River. It's 51 in Paulina and Redmond, 50 in Bend, and 52 degrees right now in Prineville. That actually puts us between 4 degrees warmer and 12 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago. So overall trending slightly cooler. And tonight we're looking at chilly conditions, but most of our temperatures are actually going to be staying above freezing. And then by tomorrow we are back into the 50s. So let's look at a different forecast model. Let's set this up with just like surface temperatures. And I put some surface analysis on there so you can see where the fronts are, and there are a couple words. But through Tuesday, we're keeping this mild air mass, and it's not going to be until that cold front pushes through that snow levels drop and temperatures drop. So highs in the 50s with several 40s, and it's going to be wetter. By Wednesday, more sunshine, especially through the PM hours, but some AM flurries are expected. Highs mostly in the 40s, and by Thursday, in advance of our next warm front and our next system, we are going to be mild once again. So between now and Thursday at 11 p.m., some mountain snow is indeed expected, but most of what we're expecting is rain in the lower elevations, some wintry mix Tuesday night going into Wednesday. But overall, really roller coaster temperatures, and some of the forecast models are signaling at another system rolling in by this weekend. So I do have a chance for mountain snow by Friday, starting up on Friday, but that could be pushed back to Saturday, depending on how all this shapes up. So here's your forecast model. This is the one we typically use on there, a little bit different than the high resolution one I was showing you earlier. And what it has is this warm front rolling in tonight, picking up snow levels, transitioning us to a little bit of mountain snow to mostly rain, and then that cold front tomorrow. And we are looking at periods of clearing through Tuesday, and then Tuesday night we get AM clearing after some snow showers. So some light snow not out of the question, just not much at all in the way of totals. By Wednesday afternoon, sunshine. By Thursday, sunshine. And a warming trend takes shape. That warming trend taking us from seasonal conditions on hump day to back well above average for this time of the year. Now this is the GFS model, just to show you a little bit of a comparison. And what we're actually seeing is that this one's keeping that low pressure rolling through and fizzling out over the region, and then that entire system just fizzling out after some AM snow showers. Wednesday, Thursday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy, in and out covered. Then fast forward to Saturday, and that's where we have this next system rolling in. Friday night going into Saturday, showers, and not much in the way of snow before we get clearing once again. So ultimately, even the long-range forecast model keeping what we're looking at very similar to the other forecast model. So mostly rain, a little bit of snow in the higher elevations. It's not until you get above 5,500 feet that we're really getting some snow, and that snow really starting to accumulate. And so ultimately, as we go forward, we're not looking at too much even past that going into Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's really not looking at too much in the way of mountain snow. Now, when it comes to winds, it has been gusty across the high desert. Winds mostly out of the southwest. Couple that with the rain, and it feels a little cooler than it actually is. Meanwhile, winds, the actual winds, not just the gusts, are about mostly 10 to 20 miles per hour till you hit Jefferson County and the Warm Springs Reservation. At that point, more like 5 to 15 miles per hour. So today, it's been gusty at times. Tonight, tapering winds, bringing us down to a light breeze by the early AM hours. Still breezy Tuesday, and back to a light breeze by hump day of this week. That's when we're finally back under our next ridge of high pressure. So for tonight, expect 30s with a few 40s out there in a couple spots, actually getting down to near freezing in some of the higher elevations of southern Deschutes County. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Let's try that again. And then our high temperatures tomorrow are mostly going to be in the 50s with some 40s. So as we go forward through the next 7 days, we do have a little bit of mountain snow, but most of what we're expecting is rain. It's going to be breezy tomorrow, still a little breezy by Wednesday, but coming back down to a light breeze and breezy again by Saturday and Sunday as that next system really starts to impact us. But look at temperatures. Highs, 50s becoming 40s, warming trend Thursday, Friday, next system Saturday, Sunday, warming trend this time next week. So truly roller coaster temperatures. A lot of our lows are going to be either near or below freezing except for tonight. So as we go forward, your weather headlines for this Monday, February the 23rd, we're in an active weather pattern. A midweek reset brings us sunshine, a dip in temperatures, and then our next round of warming is expected. Next chance of precipitation after Tuesday night and Wednesday morning holds off until this weekend. So here's a quick look at satellite and radar. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News with the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.